Hi, folks. Hope you're doing well. I've just watched an episode of the Read It Out Loud relationships, and on this one, it's a blinking doozy. There's one before that was interesting as well. The one before, they were both released today. The one before was wife cheated on me but wants me to act like her husband in her last days. Wife's got 6 months to live, ex-wife. Um, yeah, that was an interesting one. But that ended quite nicely because the bloke's remarried, now got 2 kids with his new wife. And his new wife understands the situation and said, yeah, go and spend time with her. But he was sort of absolutely, I'm not going to pretend to be her husband. Even if she's dying, I'm just not going to pretend to be her husband because that would be wrong. And no, he just got back to the point because him and his ex-wife and his sister had been, well, his ex-wife had been his sister's best friend. So he had known his ex-wife since he was 10 years old. They were now 40. So for 30 years, they'd been friends. So he just went to see her as an old friend and spend time with her as an old friend rather than as her ex-husband or as her husband. Because, of course, he was now married to someone else, so that wouldn't have worked. But they spent a few hours together, had a meal, played some games, board games, stuff like that. His sister, him, and his ex. And then when he was going to go, his ex-wife came up, gave him a hug, told him that she loved him. But then the most lovely bit, she then said to him, but I'm really happy that you're happy now and that your current wife can give you what I couldn't give you. So, wow. That's love. That's an example of love there. Just in those few words. Wow. I mean, that's an incredible thing. Mm. Well, she wasn't lying because she was dying. So, as far as she knew, this would be the last time she would see him. But to say that, I mean, put it this way, he would have had no doubt after that she still loved him. Yeah, because love is supposed to be you put your partner first. You put their needs, their wants, their desires, their happiness, their future before yours. That's supposed to be what love is. And at that moment, that's what she was doing. She wasn't doing that when she cheated on him. Nope, she wasn't showing him love at all in that moment. But her best moment came just months before she died. But he then agreed that he would see her more, and she asked if he would bring his children. And his current wife said, yeah, that's okay, you can do that. Oh. But this one is bad. This one is the opposite of that. This one is very much the opposite of that. This one, the man is telling the story. He's got a fiancée, and they're having a night in with some friends. Some people are doing something, some people are doing another, some are watching movies, some are doing something else, playing games. So he thought his wife was in there watching movies, but no, she was in the kitchen having coffee with a friend. He went in to get more drinks for his party. As he was approaching the kitchen, he heard his fiancée telling her friend that it's a shame that he isn't as good sex-wise as her ex, because her ex was, far, far better down there. Basically was blessed down there. Jeez. So the man made a few mistakes after this. He went in there. His fiancée asked him, are you having a good time? He was tempted to say, not as good a time as someone who'd been more blessed down there. But he didn't. Now, really, that's what he should have said. He should have got it out in the open. not his bits, but the issue. He should have got the issue out in the open and said, look, I heard what you said and I was deeply disturbed by it. He didn't. He allowed it to fester. He kept on pretending that nothing was wrong, even though it was killing him. Yeah. For years, I know certainly in the 80s and 90s, women were of the opinion that men didn't care whether they pleased a woman. That's so far from the truth. So far from the truth. As this story tells you, if a man believes that he was not as good as your ex and you still fantasize about your ex, that's going to destroy him in that way. And that's what we find out in this story. His fiancée tries to get him to be intimate with her, and he can't. He can't. He just can't. He can't get an erection because all that's going through his mind is her ex, and the fact that she prefers her ex to him in that way. That when she's with him, she's probably fantasizing about her ex. All this is in his head now. She doesn't understand. And when it all comes out, she doesn't understand what on earth he's gone on about. Because she's like, yeah, but you're better in other ways, You're a more trustworthy person. You're a better provider. And he's like, yeah, but okay, what if I lose my job? What are you going to do? What if your ex comes round and says, I want you back? He's got a good job now. He's matured a bit. What are you going to do? There's you telling your best mate that you basically wish that your current boyfriend had, what your ex had in that way. And he went on to say, no, if it was just about technique, if it was about he wasn't making the effort, then he can maybe improve that. But if it's about the size of his penis, there's nothing he can do about that, really. There's not an awful lot he can do to make that bigger. It is what it is. And she's made an issue of it by talking to her friend and basically, putting him down. Oh. Well, of course, they can't get over it. They could have got over it if she would have just said, well, actually, no. I was wrong. Yeah, I shouldn't have said that. However, you could end up being a far better lover than he was. Yeah, much, much better. It's all about, are you attentive? Are you listening to me? While we're making love, are you listening to me? Are you listening to what I like? Are you focusing on that? Are you hearing me during our love making? So we're communicating, even though I'm not really telling you anything, but you can hear in my breath whether that's something that is fantastic for me or not. So you focus on that and you build on that, but you make it into a wonderful experience for me. You can end up being a far better lover than he was. She didn't bother with any of that at all. She could have mended that quite easy. But she didn't. No, she was focusing, thinking that, man wants to be a provider. You haven't got a clue. You really haven't got a clue. Oh, dear. Again, really, really unfortunate. If you're a female, do not have that conversation with someone. Jesus Christ. But if you're a man, understand that he got with her after her ex dumped her, and she was still very much in love with her ex. So in a way, he was the rebound. The problem is that he really should have waited a bit or settled that. They should have had all that sort of conversation. Yeah, is there anything you need to tell me about? Is there anything you miss from that? Be honest. If that really matters to you, then okay. There are ways to do that. There are ways to do it. I mean, if your partner, if your male partner is too small in that way, there are sex toys that are far bigger. Use them instead. If what you want is huge, then you can get huge, but you can get huge through sex toys. If that matters. Yeah, if that is so important to you, which I don't think for most women that is that important, really. Well, there was another woman who actually, yeah, I mentioned that in a previous example, where her ex was quite large in that way, but she preferred a current boyfriend who was a lot smaller, because her ex wasn't trying to be attentive, he was just ramming her. And it was bloody uncomfortable and painful for her, and she didn't enjoy sex with him at all. Whereas with a current boyfriend who was more suited to her, she enjoyed it far more. So for some women, size is really important. For others, no, they want smaller. They don't want anything that's big, the size of an arm sort of thing. They don't want that. Yeah, that's just bloody uncomfortable. So yeah, you've got to communicate. Certainly, you've got to communicate, and yeah. As I said in other videos, you've got to have that level of communication, and you've got to have it right so that you can discuss these things before they become a problem. Yeah, think about the consequences. As I did the other day, think about the consequences before you get those devastating consequences, or the devastation consequences. This woman had a conversation, didn't think about it. Maybe she'd had a bit of a drink, I don't know, to loosen her brain a bit, loosen her tongue. But she said something to her friend. She wasn't trying to offend her current partner. She didn't realise he could hear. But he was in the building, so I mean, don't have that conversation at all. As soon as that idea comes in your head, realise, bad idea. You're in love with someone else. You're in a relationship with someone else. You have a fiancé. You're planning to get married to someone else. Don't think about your ex in that way. Deal with the thoughts. That's why the Lord said, don't take the thought. He wasn't talking about that particularly. He was talking about what you're going to eat or what you're going to drink. But it's exactly the same. Don't take the thought. He was talking about worrying and stressing about that stuff, saying that God will provide. But taking the thought is the problem. This woman took the thought, played around with it about her ex, and was comfortable enough to share that with someone else. What she should have done was put that thought in the bin. Put it in the trash, deleted it, just got rid of it. Don't want that. That's unhealthy. That's not healthy to my relationship right now. If you and your partner have a sex life that isn't giving you the degree of pleasure that's making you think about your ex, speak to your current partner. See if you can improve your sex life. Simple. Don't go thinking about someone else. You're one step away from cheating as soon as you do that. And of course, for this man, to a certain degree, he knew. Yes, if the ex come round, would she have a one-night stand with the ex? Possibly. Possibly she's still talking about him in that way. Yeah, purely for sex. Maybe. If she found out that a friend of hers or a work colleague of hers was quite large in that way, would she have a one-night stand with that person? Quite possibly. Because she's made a point to a friend that that matters to her. That's something she's not going to get from him. So therefore, yeah, would she go elsewhere for it? Quite possibly. So taking the thought and being comfortable to talk about it means you've taken down a load of those barriers that are in the way of you committing adultery. You're cheating on someone, basically. Because if your adultery really only technically applies to marriage, well, as I say, if you are actually in sexual contact with someone having full sex, you are married anyway spiritually. But there's that beautiful puppy. Little Evie, that is. Aye. What a beautiful photo that is. Little Evie. Perfect. Evie's got to be about 5 years old now. That's one of Lucy's pups. Aye. Absolute sweetheart as well, little Evie. Yeah. Anyhow, so yeah. Yeah. I get digressed when I see photos like that. I get sidetracked a little bit. You can see why, I suppose. Look at that beauty there. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, folks, please. Yeah, if you're in a relationship and there are difficulties in that way, speak to each other. Don't end up going on Reddit and asking advice of people on there. You know, get it sorted out with each other so it's all nicely dealt with before it becomes a massive issue. But thoughts that come into your head, you're going to have thoughts coming into your head. We have thousands of thoughts per day coming into our heads. Thousands of thoughts per day. You're not supposed to accept all of them. You're not. Certainly ones like that. You know, deal with them. If it's someone from your past, they're from your past. Deal with it. Let it go. That's from your past. Got nothing to do with your now. So let it go. There you go. Right. Okay. I'll leave it to it. I will paste the link of that video to this one. Okay. I knew what I meant. I got there in the end, didn't I? So it's a very, very wet day today. Might take the dogs out later. Don't know. Time will tell. Time will tell. Well, there you go. You take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.